Hello guys, it's me, Cheater EU here. Today, I want to talk about people complaining about matchmaking quality. I've complained about matchmaking quality, but I tend to complain about matchmaking quality from the perspective of the way the game is balanced and how the formats can affect it and, the Delta matchmaking changes, whatever. But if you go on the forums, literally right now as this releases, the US Overwatch forums, you will likely see a couple of posts of people talking about one game is against Overwatch League players, the next game is against 2-year-olds. Oh, my teammates are bots in some games, every game is roll or be rolled, and a lot of them are talking about it, but none of them actually understand why the game operates like that. And that's in 5v5 and 6v6. The majority of the reason that happens is that your overall potential of the game's outcome is massive. However, it is massive in the sense that you have a large impact in the chances of your team losing and less of a chance of impacting if your team wins, mostly because of things like Season 9 and other balance changes, right? For example, if you go completely AFK, your team is down a player. That's a massive disadvantage to have. However, if you were to pick a character in the game and then started doing very well, and they, for example, Suzu'd your play, then it's irrelevant how well you do because the outcome of the situation is the same. Your play was denied. So it's easier to have your value denied and you end up getting negative value than it is for you to get positive value over the game. There's a higher chance for you to have a negative outcome on the game than a positive one, which makes all of the games feel like you're getting rolled because none of the games actually have as much carry potential as they have throw potential. That means your games are less likely to be impacted by the positive value that you are receiving or your teammates are receiving, and more likely to be decided by which team receives more negative value than positive value. Meaning you're better off actually denying plays and trying to receive as little negative value as possible than you are actively trying to carry and receive positive value. You are more likely to win in a lot of cases in most ranks by simply playing safe in your team, poking, chilling, playing as default as possible to minimize the amount of human error in your play, therefore minimizing the amount of potential negative value you receive, then you are trying to go for positive value, like flanking or off angles and so on, that may potentially get denied, which then end up in you receiving negative value, which is a worse outcome overall. Meaning, the more proactively you play in a lot of cases, it can actually end up meaning that you are losing because you're trying to win. That's why I have so many videos where I'm talking about going AFK is the best way to win. Stop trying to win and you'll probably win more because you are incurring less risk. With risk comes increased value in potential in the positive and the negative. But because of Overwatch's overall balance design, where there's denial abilities, mass sustain, AoE healing, Season 9 changes, the limited TTK being higher, and so on, it means that your overall impact on the game is more likely to end up being negative. Therefore, your best option is to limit the amount of plays you make where there is a potential amount of human error that can affect the play. For example, something like Suzuing has extremely minimal effort. Minimal human error is available when performing a Suzu. Therefore, you are more likely to get positive value from that because it is a denial ability, it is a sustainability, it is a reactive ability, it's an ability that's easy to use, and therefore less human error. You are more likely to get value out of just playing safe and doing those positive EV things than you are potentially going for a big flank on Tracer, where you have all the potential downsides of misusing a blink, misusing recall, maybe strafing in one direction for a bit too long and your opponent reads it, maybe you miss a couple too many shots, maybe you don't grab the health pack in time. There are so many things that can potentially go wrong in scenarios where you're actively trying to seek out value, whereas there's so little that can go wrong when you're actively playing less proactively. You're just chilling out doing nothing because of the amount of sustain and denial in the game means that you're less likely to be killed by someone doing something proactive because of the balance of the game. And that's why I've made so many videos about the matchmaking and why a lot of people don't really understand it. Now, obviously, there are people that are going to disagree. Ralph might end up watching this. Hello, Ralphie Poo, my beloved. That one's specifically for you. That might, come up with some, extremely like analytical genius explanation for it while I like caveman speak about it, or maybe he completely disagrees or whatever it may be. I'm not entirely sure, but in my experience playing the game, coaching the game, and so on, it seems as though the best way to play Overwatch 2 in 6v6 and 5v5 is to play a more passive playstyle where the amount of value that you can receive is capped because you want as little negative value as possible. And I think that's why there's been such a push towards poke compositions as of late, and also just kind of throughout Overwatch history, is because basically every season there's a hit scan that's good, there's a mass sustain support that's good. Typically the best tank is usually the one with the best survivability options because, you know, why would you not want to stay alive for a long time? Now, obviously, this is going to change in the professional, you know, level and so on. But for general ranked play, it seems as though the best option you have is to limit the amount of things that can actually go on in your gameplay in terms of the amount of value you receive. Because as long as you receive the least amount of negative value, you're actually going to end up being likely to be the most important member of your team, because even if you're not the one getting all the important value. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're on Genji, for example, it doesn't matter if 1 in 5 fights you're going in and killing 6 people and swagging out and hard carrying, and then every other fight you're doing a bit okay and you're proactive and so on. None of that matters if you're the one that's dying, getting forced out, or getting pressured, or getting, you know, cooldowns burnt on you, or your supports need to focus on you more. None of that matters. You're better off actually doing worse overall and not going for those big risky plays, and actually standing at the edge, poking, working off your tank. That guy's low HP, dash melee that guy, dash out, stay alive, stay cool. You know, you're better off doing all that than you are going for big flashy plays, trying to hard carry, trying to get your value in, trying to milk every single tiny ounce of value out of the game. Is actually going to end up worse for you in the long run in ranked because of the way that the positive and negative values are distributed in this game. I think that's insanely lame, and it's what I complain about all the time. It's why I bitch about poke meta. Because if I'm on Genji and I want to go for an Ashe, the Ashe, when I go for her, all she has to do is, the Genji is pushing me, I coach gun you, I shoot you to death. Now, obviously, that's not like a free win, right? You know what I mean? Like, the Ashe still has to know when to coach gun, when to hold coach gun, when to use it, hair shots, and so on. But why is it that I would ever incur the risk on Genji of going towards that Ashe and risk that Ashe executing her reaction play correctly and getting value out of me, when I could just play passively, not allow her to get that reaction value, and just poke her out all day until she might get low HP, she might get tagged by me and my teammate, and I can quickly dash melee on top of her before she coach guns out. What is the point of me going for the initial proactive play, the playmaking play, where I'm trying to get the value, when I could just chill out, wait, my tank can shoot her a bit, pressure at the angle, dash melee on her. If she dies, she dies. If she doesn't, I run away either way. Do you know what I'm saying? There is actually no reason behind it. And that's why, in the higher ranks especially, I complain about this all the time. GM, not really Champ. I haven't seen it in Champ. Champ players tend to be very, very good at the game, especially in Masters. But low GM and Masters, the majority of the player base there are two kinds of people. It's the insanely good proactive players that end up getting punished because they're pushing out too far or whatever. They are very good, but they're held back by their own play of trying to go for things they shouldn't. And there is the shit tier boosted player that's in that rank because they are shit tier and stand do nothing all game and play purely reactively. It's the reason why, like, you can queue into a Masters game and go, holy shit, this is the best Tracer player I've ever seen. That's the best movement ever. That's the best mechanical skill I've ever seen. His tracking is incredible. Holy shit, his blink usage is amazing. His movement is sort of track. And then in that same game, it's my Ashe is drooling all over her keyboard. She's got 20% accuracy. She's literally just wasting all of her cooldowns. Her positioning sucks ass. How is she in this rank? She's in that rank because she just stands down main and shoots her gun all day. And that Tracer's in that rank because they're like the best player probably on Tracer in their country or whatever, and they end up getting punished because they're a bit too proactive and end up getting slept at a bad time or naded at a bad time. And those are obviously bad things that shouldn't happen, but that Tracer is deliberately going out of her way to playmake to try and get value for her team, and it ends up with her value getting denied, and overall the enemy team overall winning more value overall for playing reactively and waiting the tracer out. I think that is bad and boring gameplay. I don't think that's very fun game design. That's why I make fun of Marvel Rivals, because Marvel Rivals is similar. You just stand in your team, you get sustain, you shoot down main, wait for the enemy support to troll, then press W. It's the same in Rivals, and it's the same in Overwatch now as well. The balanced direction they're taking the game is boring. It is not fun, it's not proactive, it's obviously skill-based to some degree, but not to the level it should be. If I'm getting Kevster on my team on Tracer, and he's playing really well, he should solo carry the entire lobby. Someone might obviously disagree with that. People might say it's a team-based game, your team should be, and so on or whatever, right? Fair enough, that's a totally valid opinion. But I think if you're one of the best and you are playing very well, you should literally solo carry the whole game on basically any hero in the game. I don't think you need to be on some broken, overpowered character like fucking Sojourn or Widow to full solo carry a game. I think that's ridiculous. And I don't think, like for example, Tracer's OP right now, and I use the Kevster example, like even on 5 damage Tracer, if Kevster's on Tracer and he's playing amazingly, and we're in like a low GM game, why is it that there's not a 100% chance that he will just kill everyone and win if he is good enough to do it? Because sometimes he'll get an engage, perfect engage, or whatever it may be, or you might not call it perfect because they have Suzu or whatever, and then his play ends up getting Suzu'd, and then he gets out, and his team has to burn resources on him, when he would have been better off playing passively, spamming DPS procs into the enemy team, chilling out, waiting for an opportunity, chilling out, not really being proactive. Oh, that guy's low HP, double blink, blast you to death, recall out, get away, right? Why is that more valuable than, wow, you're displaying perfect mechanical skill, holy shit, you're in all the time, you're always on them, you're always shooting people? And obviously that thing is valuable. I'm not saying that if you're proactive you lose or whatever. I'm not doing that. You're missing the point if you think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that although the proactive play is obviously correct in a lot of scenarios and off angling is correct and so on, it in some cases generates less value than purely playing passively and reactively. I don't think the game should be balanced that way. I don't think my proactivity, my plays, my skill, or whatever it is, or anyone else's, should be denied purely because someone in the game is, or the game is balanced in a way that makes it so playing passively and reactively can, in cases, be more rewarding even when it's significantly less skill-based. And skill can be anything from mechanical skill, positional skill, your ability to ult track, your ability to cooldown track, your, understanding where your teammates are, your teamwork, everything. It can be anything. Everything is a skill, and you should be able to win the game through any means. But it gets to a point where it's too much. If someone can win through the ability of being extremely passive and reactive, and that can sometimes beat out players that are actively being proactive, in my opinion, that is bullshit. I should not have to make all these plays where I'm thinking hard about where am I going to go, who I'm going to shoot, or what cooldowns are up, where are my team, what are they doing. I should not have to go through all those skill checks and then lose to a guy that said, oh look, there's a fucking Genji on my screen. Ah, coach gun. Ah, you're fucking dynamited. There goes your entire health bar. Oh no, he's gonna teleport through the wall. Suzu, teleport through the wall again with a perk. These things are not comparable. Kevster beaming you in the fucking brain takes a billion more skill than me teleport, me Suzu, me lamp you, me life grip you. Oh, I'm gonna annihilate the fucking floor while you're next to me. Oh, you know what I mean? That's bullshit. And it is what it is, right? I love you all. I hope you have a good day. You're adorable. Have a good day. I love you, Ralph, if you watch this. I love all of you. Have a good day. Goodbye.